So, my dear students, very good morning to all of you. So, today we will discuss about the sentence, especially the simple, complex, and compound sentence. Okay, so sentence which has three category. First of all, first one is simple sentence. Second one is complex sentence, and third one is compound sentence. So students, first of all, we have to understand what is the concept of a simple sentence. Okay, because the three sentences are different by their form and where we use it. Okay, so first of all, we will learn today what about the simple sentence. So today আজ আমরা সিম্পল সেন্টেন্সটা সম্পর্কে জানবো। ওকে, সো আমি এখানেতে সিম্পল সেন্টেন্সটা জাস্ট লিখছি, দেখো, কারণ বাকি যে দুটো সেন্টেন্স সেগুলো আমরা পরে দেখছি। আগে সিম্পলটা দেখে নিই যে সিম্পল সেন্টেন্স কাকে বলে। দেখো, তো লেটস সি সিম্পল সেন্টেন্স। হোয়াট ইজ সিম্পল সেন্টেন্স? ফার্স্ট অফ অল, the term simple is related to the very definition of the sentence. The simple sentence means which is not complex and not compound. That means the sentence which has, but there are some characteristics, okay, by which we can easily understand what is a simple sentence. Okay, so let's find it out. Okay, the most important point is that by which you can easily find it out that it is a simple sentence, and you can differentiate among the three sentences. Okay, তো তুমি ডিফারেন্সিয়েট করতে পারো তিনটে সেন্টেন্সেস থেকে সিম্পল সেন্টেন্সে কি করে আলাদা করবে। ওকে, তো ফার্স্ট পয়েন্ট ইজ দ্যাট it has a finite verb. It has a finite verb. That means here a means one finite verb. A sentence which has one and only finite verb is called simple sentence. Okay, and the next point is that it may have non-finite verb. Means it has one finite verb, and this is mandatory. Okay, this is mandatory. ये तो रहना ही चाहिए, है ना? This is mandatory, but it may have non-finite verb. It means a sentence which has no non-finite verb but one finite verb, also called simple sentence. A sentence which has one finite verb and one non-finite verb is also called simple sentence. Let's understand by using example. Okay, first example: the boy is reading a book. In this sentence, the boy is the subject of the sentence, is reading is the verb of the sentence, and a book is the object of the sentence. So in this sentence, only one finite verb is reading. This is the one and only finite verb. That's why it is a simple sentence. So, and the next example is that mother has written a letter to help her son. In the sentence, if we see that has written is one verb and help is another verb, but before help there is a to. Here to is infinitive. To is infinitive. So that's why if we use to before a verb, then it is called infinitive. But one thing remember, this is a non-finite verb. So why this is called non-finite verb? because here to help is non-finite verb because it acts as a noun. Okay, here in the sentence it acts as a noun. That's why it is called a non-finite verb. It is called infinitive, and there are three non-finite verbs. Okay, where we can use it in a simple sentence. Okay, then the one and only verb, that is finite verb, is has written. Has written is the one and only finite verb, and to help is the non-finite verb. So that's why it is also a simple sentence. Don't forget that a simple sentence will always be one finite verb. This is not the actual rules. The rules is that it has a finite verb, that means one and only finite verb. But don't forget that it may have non-finite verb also. That means in a sentence, if one finite verb is present and another non-finite verb is also present, then it is also called a simple sentence. Okay, and let's clarify it in a very different. Okay, then from we will remember, we will understand it from the root. Okay, then one question is arise, maybe will be arise in your mind. They said, then if two verbs are there, one is finite and one is non-finite, then the third point is that there will be no clause, means sub clause. In a simple sentence there will be no sub clause. सिंपल सेंटेंस में सब क्लॉज नहीं रहेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि सब क्लॉज रहेगा तो उसमें भी एक verb रहना चाहिए. It is mandatory to have a finite verb in a sub clause and also a linker. So that's why in a simple sentence there will be no linker, no finite verb. Okay, then okay, let's clear it. Then I have taught you a different concept, that is a non-finite verb. Okay, so let's what are the non-finite verbs, and we have to learn it because we are just going to use the non-finite verb in a simple sentence. So that's why you have a clear knowledge about what is non-finite verb. Okay, so let's clarify it. What is non-finite verb? What is non-finite verb? नॉन फाइनाइट वर्ब होते क्या है? ये जो नॉन फाइनाइट वर्ब है ना, ये ओरिजिनली वर्ब है, लेकिन इसको हम सेंटेंस में यूज करते हैं एज अ नाउन और एज एन एडजेक्टिव. कैसे? देखो, तो नॉन फाइनाइट जो वर्ब है ना, जैसे कि सोचो स्विम. ओके, इट्स अ रूट फॉर्म ऑफ द वर्ब स्विम. The root form of the verb is swim. So that's why we can use the root form. And one thing remember guys, one thing is remember that swim, if we write swimming. Okay, so swimming is a verb as usual, as a part of speech. Swimming is a verb. Then if we use swimming as a noun in a sentence, then it will be called a non-finite verb. Okay, let's clarify it. First example, the boy is swimming. Here the boy is swimming, here it's a verb. But if I write swimming is a good exercise. In the sentence, in the second sentence, swimming is used as a noun because it is the subject of the sentence. How can we say it that it is the subject of the sentence? If you question it, what is a good exercise, then we can find out the answer, swimming. That's why swimming is the subject of the sentence. Then we also know it that by using what or who. If we question by using what or who, we can find subject. And if we question what or whom, we can find out the object of the sentence. Okay, this should be remembered. The what and who we use, we find out subject, and if we question what or whom, then we can find out object. Then question किसको करना है? क्वेश्चन तो करना है, ये तो जानता हूँ, लेकिन क्वेश्चन किसको करना है? क्वेश्चन करना है भार्ब को. तो तुम्हारा माइंड में भी ये भी सवाल आता है कि सर ये जो स्विमिंग है ना, तो स्विमिंग को भी तो हम भार्ब भी मान सकते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो आईएनजी है और इज भी यहाँ पे है. हाँ, ये भी मान सकते हैं, लेकिन कोई भी सेंटेंस में ये जो भार्ब है ना, भार्ब से सेंटेंस बिगिन नहीं होते. वन एंड ओनली सेंटेंस जो भार्ब से बिगिन होते हैं उसको इंपरेटिव सेंटेंस बोलते हैं. लेकिन इंपरेटिव सेंटेंस में भी जो भार्ब यूज होता है ना बिगिनिंग में, वो जो भार्ब है वो भार्ब भी V1 फॉर्म में यूज होते हैं, नॉट आईएनजी फॉर्म. इट इज द V4 फॉर्म ऑफ द भार्ब. V4 में मतलब V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. इसके साथ आईएनजी लगा हुआ है ना, जो इंपरेटिव सेंटेंस में यूज होते हैं, जैसे कि स्विम. ये स्विम को हम यूज कर सकते हैं इंपरेटिव सेंटेंस में as a verb in a sentence in the beginning of the sentence, but we cannot use swim plus ing. यहाँ पे क्या है? swim plus ing. That's why there is an ing form. Then ing, when we use ing, then we cannot use it in the beginning of the sentence in an imperative sentence. Okay, so that's why here swimming is not a verb, because the verb will never be used in a sentence. And the second important thing is that the main verb is never used before and the auxiliary verb is never used after. If the structure will be is here, then swimming, then we can consider it as a verb. But before auxiliary verb, there is a main verb. So there will be no sentence where we can use swimming as the beginning of a verb, and after the main verb there is the auxiliary verb. So that's why there is no question, there is no doubt that this is a verb. So what this is, then we can question it. What is a good exercise? Then we can find out the answer, swimming. So that's why whenever we find out the answer what, then we can easily find out swimming is the best exercise, is a good exercise. That means swimming is the subject of a verb. So that's why if I write swimming is a good exercise, then it is also a simple sentence. Here swimming is the subject and is the verb and a good exercise is others. Okay students, so what I want to clarify the things that whenever we can understand, whenever we will giving effort, we will give effort to understand what is a simple sentence, we have to remember the difference between non-finite verb and another is finite verb. Then friends, what is finite verb? And obviously the non-finite verb are various things. So in one video we cannot make all those things clear, because the non-finite verb, it needs one video. So if you want to know what are the non-finite verbs in a detailed video, then comment and I will obviously make a video on that, okay, later. Okay. So first one thing, for example, whenever we just want to realize what is the difference between non-finite and finite, then always remember finite verbs are all the verbs in the world. The main verb, the auxiliary verbs, the modals, all the verbs are finite verbs. Okay, accent verb, non-accent verbs, all the verbs are finite verbs. But the non-finite verbs are, then what are the non-finite verbs? The non-finite verbs are the verbs what we make for our own benefit, for our own use. This is a verb, but we use it in a sentence in a different way. That's why it acts as a noun in the sentence. Okay, so that's why it is a verb, not a noun, but use it as a noun. So we can use it. We have the power that we can use it in a sentence in a different way. In a verb we can use it in a different sense in a sentence. So that's why here swimming is used as a noun in the sentence. Okay, so this is the concept of simple sentence. Then what is the benefit, or what are the benefits to know about the simple, complex and compound? So guys, देखो ये जो सिंपल कॉम्प्लेक्स कंपाउंड जो है ना, इसको हमको सीखना ही पड़ेगा, क्योंकि इसके बाद आता है क्लॉज, उसके बाद आता है जॉइनिंग, after that transformation of sentence. Everywhere you should remember the simple sentence. For example, if one said that someone give you a complex sentence, okay, and ask you that what is the simple sentence of the complex sentence, then you have to remember that in a complex sentence there are two verbs and you have to make one verb, so you have to make one finite verb and another finite verb of the complex sentence, you have to make it non-finite verb, then it will be a simple sentence. So you have to remember all those things. Okay, so that's it, and it is the concept of the simple sentence in one video, and we will make the complex sentence in another video. Okay, so thank you.